Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hemant. Today, I decided to make a video on the progressive lenses because recently one of my friend who is like around in his 40s of age faced a lot of problems in deciding to switch from normal lenses to progressive lenses, and it's been a long time that I made a video like this. I think the last video I did was like during my uh, last seminar presentation during my master's degree. I hope I'll try to make it very simple and clear to understand for all the audience as much as possible. Let's get started. So first of all, why do we need progressive lenses? And this video I'll explain you what is the cost analysis for switching from a regular to progressive lenses, and also why do we need to switch it, and how to switch it, and what are the various factors involved like when changing from normal to progressive lenses. Let's go to slide number 2. Okay, the one of the not one of the one so the main reason to start this video, to make this video is, does Indians need to spend a million rupees for progressive lenses in their lifetime? The answer is yes, and I'll prove it by end of this presentation. And in fact, not in their lifetime. I can prove it that we have to spend like almost 10 lakh rupees, which is a million rupees, in a decade itself, which is like 10 years hardly. And I'll prove it by end of this video. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so let's explain. So I think whoever watching this video is mainly for people who are like in older age, and who are in confused state to whether to switch from normal to progressive lenses, and also people to understand how much it costs to buy progressive lenses, and also like what kind of wide range we need in progressive lenses, and also what is the cost analysis, and also is it better to switch to progressive lenses or not. So all these questions will be answered in the next couple of slides. So basically, let's say whoever has the vision problems like me, if you go to like the optometric like optist, so what they do is, everybody has their own technical different softwares to analyze the like the vision length, like based on near, distance, and intermediate. So based on like vision problems, you'll get a kind of a prescription, and based on prescriptions you'll get the glasses. So let's say for example, that prescription will be kind of how to explain, maybe a kind of universal thing. With the same prescription, you can go to anywhere in the country, you can make up the glasses. So the question is, then what is the difference in progressive lenses? The answer is, if you look at the slide, you can see three different ranges. One is near, another one is intermediate, and another one is distance. So like here, in near, intermediate, distance. Let us assume this is the screen. Let's say like the computer screen you work every day for work or watch movies, whatever. So near means, let's example, if this is the screen, let's assume if you focus your eyes on one, let's say here, if you have let's say if you are in need of like progressive lenses, you cannot focus on here and here. You can only your eyes can only see here, and which is kind of causing a stress to your eyes to focus on other areas. If you are in need of, or if you are in a position that you have to use the progressive lenses, that depends mostly on the age factor. Let's say for example, even though I have like glasses since like a decade, like more than a decade, I can still focus on entire screen without much strain on my eyes, that you can feel it. And also I keep checking my vision, my eye test and vision test almost like every couple of years, to make sure that the eyesight is not going beyond like a very bad like that. So, and also maintaining some kind of a good lifestyle like food and stuff, etc., and like especially stress and stuff. So here in the progressive lenses, like people who are like especially in the older age, let's say like beyond 40, whoever has glasses like since long time, So they'll develop slowly this kind of situation where if they focus on this area, they cannot focus on this area. So this is the stage where you need progressive lenses. Yes, you need to focus very clearly and also to reduce the stress on your eyes. These are the two key factors. Okay, let's go to the different. Now this is the basics of what actually progressive lenses means. So progressive lenses cover near, intermediate distance. So if you don't have progressive lenses, you'll get strained to if you're watching here, you cannot focus on here and here, which is near vision and also distance vision. Let us say if you focus on distance vision, you cannot focus on intermediate, near, and keep in mind not only these three areas. If you look at this peripheral distortion, this is one of the key factor why we need progressive lenses. That I'll explain clear. Next slides. So as I just explained, so bifocals means that actually corrects you like far, which is long distance, near, which is short distance. So these two vision things will be covered in those lenses, and it depends on individual and also the individual problems. Like somebody have far vision, somebody have short vision, so it depends on the individuals. Same thing goes here like trifocals. But in progressive lenses, like I just explained in the previous slide, the peripheral distortion, let's go, that peripheral distortion area, that's what it is. It will be blurry in regular lenses. But if you get the progressive lenses, what you can clearly see the all the area from long side, short side, middle, like intermediate, along with peripheral distortion, where like if you see, look at the picture, the slide, the blurry area, you can see everything. Okay, let's move on to the other slide. So this is the same thing I just explained, like same concept like near, intermediate, and long distance. So single vision lenses. This is like kind of far medical terminology, like what it's called if it's like the near and distance, like kind of bifocal lenses and stuff. And let's move on to other stuff. This is the simple explanation of, let's say if I have regular glasses, this how it works. A one prescription for the entire lens. So you cannot get real this single vision lenses cannot solve the problems of peripheral distortion, which will be like blurry on the sides, as well as it cannot focus on intermittent long distance as well as near. It's like it depends. If you look at the progressive, it is very clear that, and if you look at the people can be able to see very clearly and focus on near vision, intermediate, and also distance. But if you look at this picture, it clearly says some gap around here. This is called peripheral distortion area, which can be blurred too. This is what why we need progressive lenses. Let's move on to other slide. Okay, let's talk about pros and cons of progressive lenses. So, what are the pros? Like I just explained, yeah, this is the best picture to explain the benefits of having progressive lenses, like pros and cons. If you look at these glasses, so even though this glass is a kind of progressive lens, example of progressive lens, you can't really focus here. If you see, it looks blurry. But if you look at in the upper area, you can clearly see everything. You can clearly focus, you can clearly visualize everything, because this progressive lens is an example of long and near. Okay, so here, as I explained, we have like near range, intermediate range, and long range. So even though the progressive lens has a capability of solving all the problems from near to intermediate and long, it it basically depends on the activity which you are trying to do. Let's say for example, if you went to the temple, you don't really need the long distance, because when you are inside the temple, let's assume like I'm not talking about the world biggest temples, like which was built in 100 acres, 200 acres. I'm just talking about the local temples, like let's say which is built in probably half acre, or even less. So if you are inside the temple, the distance or design of the architecture is like way less when compared to the other ones. So for those, if when you're inside the temple, you hardly need the vision of near and intermediate. You definitely don't need the long vision area to cover it. Let's say for example, if you're traveling, like in the car, you definitely need the long vision as well as intermediate vision as well as near vision, because if you miss the near vision, yeah, you'll get more strain on eyes. If you like when if you want to see the steering, even that looks like more far away if you don't have the near lenses, so which kind of stressful. To avoid the stress during traveling, you should buy a progressive lens that has the both near, intermediate and also long lenses. Let us assume in the temple you only need the near and intermediate. Same thing goes with to the monitor. Let's say if you want to work, so what kind of progressive lens you need for working, like for daily activities? For working the monitor, you hardly need the range that covers from near, in some cases up to intermediate, because most likely you'll be sitting probably like 1 or 2 feet away from your computer. You cannot, usually people, I never saw people sitting away from like 10 feet like watching TV and working on the monitor with such a distance. We definitely need even like smartphone, even like a computer monitor we use for work, whatever. We usually sit like in 1 to 2 feet. So for this purpose you hardly need a near vision, in very rare cases intermediate. So here the question is, so how to select it and how much it cost? This is the key part, and this is what made me to make this video, and this is what actually disturbed me kind of very bad way. I'll tell you why. Let's look at the like kind of a cost analysis. So in general, like I said, based on the activity you would like to perform and based on the need, based on your individual need, in general you have to pay like at least 2 pairs of progressive lenses. One pair would be that cover all distances like near, intermediate and long vision, and another pair would be based on like near intermediate or intermediate long vision, depends on the kind of lifestyle you have, the activity you do and stuff. Let us assume in general, let's say 2 pairs of lenses. Usually I would recommend 3 pairs, but if you look at the cost factor, it's a lot, and you can see it on the slide by itself by now. So let's assume like 2 factors: one when you are traveling, one when you are working or watching TV, or when you are like when you are inside the house, inside the temple, whatever. So in these, in general scenarios, you need 2 pairs. One pair is for long, near and intermediate distance to cover it, and another one for near, intermediate to cover daily activities. Let's assume just 2 pairs. So one of my friend so went like I said, he's like beyond 40 years of age, so he went to buy a pair of progressive lenses, and he bought the brand name called Verilux. He told me this kind of local brand, but he said there are like limited companies that offer progressive lenses in India. This is also kind of one of the top 10. Let's assume. I think, yeah, he said. I think he said one of top 10. Even the one of the local brand, even though like with less competition, even now they are selling per pair of 17,000 rupees, and keep in mind it's just for like lenses. It doesn't include the frame. So like I said, in progressive lenses, you definitely need at least 2 pairs. One for, like I said, near intermediate, and one to cover all the ranges. So technically, for 2 glasses, you need 34,000 rupees just for lenses, and with frame, it will come to around like 40 grand, 40,000 rupees. And this is based on the medium quality and medium brand, and also the wide range you select. So the wide range is nothing but near, intermediate and long, as I mentioned. Even that also they're like, they'll give you like a booklet. That's what I did my research. I don't want to mention any like brand names or call out any companies. So if you go to any company that like offers like a progressive lenses, they'll simply offer you a kind of big booklet which you'll be confused. You'll think like it's kind of rocket science in some cases, so which is not. So in that booklet, the only thing what they are showing is, let's say an example of near and intermediate range. If you want to buy that pair of glasses, which you definitely need for progressive range, if you look at it, that models itself, they, let's say kind of in near intermediate, which has the full glass area, based on the clarity, based on the focus, and based on the quality, and based on the wide range between near and intermediate itself. Let's say for example, if you want like consider like a 4K QLED quality, if you want more clarity, you have to pay more. So which doesn't make sense in this scenario, because whatever the glasses we are wearing now, even if you look at, go to the top brand, it's hardly cost like 50-60 grand, and in some cases I see like some 1 lakh to 2 lakh to. That mainly depends on like quality of the material and also the less weight and stuff. But in these cases, if you observe, only the lenses itself is cost like 40 grand, like for a medium quality. If you look at the, if you really want the great quality with a great frame, you have to spend around 1 lakh rupees for two pairs. That too based on the medium branded. Let's say if you go to the high brand, I don't even know like how much it costs. It's definitely beyond 1 lakh. So I'm just putting a 1 lakh in general, like based on my research and stuff. So does the, here the question is, let's say if buying a 1 lakh of two pairs of progressive lenses solves the entire problem, this is the problem. It still doesn't solve the problem, and I'll tell you why. So the reason is, so like I said, does buying one time in your lifetime a great quality of progressive lenses solve the problem? The simple answer is no. So usually let's say for example, not only for the people who use the progressive lenses, in general, even like me or like other people, based on your lifestyle and based on your individual stress factors and genes and stuff, whatever it is, usually eyesight varies. Definitely it'll go even bad. Definitely I never heard the eyesight corrected itself, for the people. So definitely it'll go bad. It might be depends on range, like probably the intensity might be vary. Probably for people it might vary point, like point, not whatever. But for some people it might be big change. So, and especially in the people who use the progressive lenses, they definitely have, most likely the eyesight will change, because whenever they try to use the progressive lenses, if they're using correct way, it's good. Based on the age factor and consideration, as well as people, most of the people don't use the technical things properly, or even the glasses sometimes. I mean, I'm not talking about the regular glasses. I'm talking about the progressive glasses. That eye strain, whatever it keeps you more, it definitely make a change in the eyesight in the aura in the by the end of the year. So technically, if you really want to maintain a good eye health, and if you really want to make sure that your eyesight is not getting bad, you definitely need to check every year. And for these people, definitely there will be a lot more, they can see the difference. The eyesight will go even little bad by the end of the year, even though they use the progressive lenses. So technically they have to change the glasses by every year, based on individual preference. In general, yes, you have to change if you don't want to your eyesight to go bad, because of the age consideration and stress factor, whatever number of factors. I can pinpoint one specific thing. So basically, definitely there will be change in the eyesight, people who use the progressive glasses, and most likely they have to change like every year. So if you look at it like that, if you look at the cost analysis in a decade, like which is in 10 years, if the based on the median quality and stuff, if you change like one time per year, which is 1 lakh per year, it comes down to a million rupees, which is like 10 lakh rupee in a decade, if you really want like good glasses and good pairs. So imagine, if you like in your entire life, how much you will be spending more. So the reason is, I think we need kind of a more innovation in this, especially progressive lenses field. And that's the one of the key contributing factor for the high cost and stuff. So hopefully one day we all see, mm, so every problem, initially whatever we invent, it might be more cost, but eventually based on the market, definitely the price will go down. I really hope one day the progressive lens also reach the price of the normal glasses which we are using today. But as of now, it's a disaster to to switch to switch into progressive lenses. But definitely you have to switch it, because you don't have an option. But people who are started using the progressive lenses, make sure you are using the glasses like in a correct way, as well as especially remember the quote, health is wealth, because prevention is better than cure. Like it's an old quote. Better lifestyle changes, and a good, like a better use of the glasses. That's what for today. And this case study is based on the real life. Hopefully I'll do like more and more. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can keep like commenting. If possible, most likely I'll try to reply your message and stuff. And I'll do more research and see if there's any other brand that offers it low cost. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye bye.